Thank you. Our reading today is from the writings of George Washington, who sounded a warning to all of the citizens of America that it is appropriate for us today as when it was made. The structure of the Constitution of the United States has been erected by architects of consummate skill and fidelity. Its foundations are solid. Its compartments are beautiful and as well useful. Its arrangements are full of wisdom and order, and its defenses are impregnable from without. It has been reared for immortality, if the work of man may aspire to such a title. It may, nevertheless, perish in an hour by the folly and corruption of or negligence of its only keepers, we the people. The republics are created by the virtue, public spirit, and intelligence of the citizens. They fall when the wise are banished from the public councils because they dare to be honest, and the profligates are rewarded because they flatter the people in order to betray them. We are now going to present the Works of Freedom, which is the resulting document from the Continental Congress, and have a lot more to read. As a people, we need to ask, who are we? Who do we want to be? What kind of country do we want to leave to our children and future generations of Americans? Shall we let our Constitution and its essential principles be murdered by the powers of this world? Will we tolerate tyranny merely to be comfortable? What does a free people do when confronted with a government that refuses to honor and may even systematically scheme to evade the boundaries and limitations established for it by we the people? If the people fail to act, we will end a chapter in human history that began when a people reigned sovereign and the chains of a written constitution limited and bound their government to their service. We have a choice. You have a choice. More and more of us with each waking day have been requesting answers, and we do not get them. We have tried to stop the wrongs taking place, but the violations continue. Now we offer these instructions to our government to obey the Constitution, which, after all, is a strongly worded set of principles to govern the government, not the people. By the terms and provisions of the Constitution, the people have formed the government and enabled the government to act in certain ways. However, the people have also purposely and markedly restricted and prohibited the government from acting in certain other ways. We meddle in the internal affairs of foreign countries and apply our armed forces in constitutionally unauthorized hostilities overseas, resulting in a chain reaction of direct and indirect effects. We are on the brink of a meltdown of a monetary system based on the endless conjuring of debt. We have seen an enormous security system arise before our very eyes to protect us from terrorists. Yet, in doing so, our government is seizing our most fundamental rights and depriving us of their protections. We are losing our freedom. To finance all these schemes, the IRS and the Department of Justice exert intimidation by and the power of an ever-expanding policing network to enforce and prosecute offenses of tax laws. Yet they refuse to cite the specific legal authority that purportedly allows them to enforce those laws. The nature of our resistance is clear. It is not an act of anarchy or rebellion. Rather, it is an act of resistance to a government that is violating the purposes for which the Creator, through the people in the Constitution, has ordained civil government. We are not anti-government. We are not anti-war. We are not anti-tax. We are not anti-law enforcement. We are pro-Constitution and anti-fraud. we are pursuing peaceful reconciliation and petition. It is the President, the Congress, and the courts who have refused to respond to our petitions for redress of our grievances in violation of the First Amendment, and who continue to violate and undermine the supreme law of our land. We have no desire for resistance or violence of any kind. However, if the people's peaceful attempts to have answers, the people's petitions and appeals have been met with force, and in some instances with near military force. The defense of our homes, families, and properties, the possessions and our possessions is a most important point to us. It is our heritage. It is our right. There is not the most distant thought of subverting the government or of hurting the interest of the people of America, but in defending our personal rights, freedoms, and liberties from unjust encroachment. There was not the least desire of withdrawing our allegiance from the leaders of the branches until it became absolutely necessary. And indeed, it has been on their own choice. Our political leaders know that our cause is just. They know that we, the people, struggle for that freedom to which all men are entitled, that we should struggle against oppression, seizure, plunder, extortion, and more than savage barbarity. We are not moved by any light or hasty suggestion of anger or revenge. Though every possible change of fortune, we adhere peaceably to this determination. Our property and happiness have been attacked. Our self-defense against an aggressor government is righteous. Our civil action is for the cause of civil justice. A righteous struggle undertaken in defense of our property, our happiness, and our families. It is to oppose the invasions of usurped power. We will bravely suffer present hardships and face future dangers to secure the rights of humanity and the blessings of freedom for generations yet unborn. It is our obligation as responsible citizens of this country to set a proper value upon and to defend to the utmost our just rights and the blessings of life and liberty. Without this personal commitment, a few unprincipled individuals would tyrannize the people and make the passive multitude the slaves of their power. Thus, it is that civil actions are not only justifiable, but an indispensable duty to correct these wrongs. It is upon these principles that we are resisting what is taking place in our government, and we will not back down. We await the day when the system of governance in this nation is restored and the Constitution is obeyed. We will be a positive and prosperous nation. Today, delegates of the Continental Congress 2009 and others from each of the several states serve this document titled Articles of Freedom with its remedial instructions to our federal government and our state government officials, placing them on notice that we, the free people of the United States, believe them to be in violation of their oath of office and the Constitution for the United States of America.